Question number 7, Sue Moroney.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Education.
Order. I apologise to the honourable member. Look, I am struggling to hear members. There's been a fair bit of noise on my left down here that is I've found quite difficult. I admit my hearing's less than perfect, but I do need to be able to hear, and the noise level was a bit high there. Sue Moroney, please.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Order.
My question is to the Minister of Education. What plans does she have for early childhood education?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Speaker, we have many exciting plans for early childhood services, including projects around the country to increase participation, plans to improve flexibility and reduce bureaucracy, and projects to ensure that children in Christchurch get back into early childhood education following the earthquake. And we're doing all this while being very responsible with taxpayer funds.
Sue Moroney.
Supplementary. What has caused the delay in the release of the Early Childhood Education Task Force report she commissioned, which was initially due in March 2011, was then postponed until the second week of April and has still not been released to date?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Speaker, the task force is doing an extremely thorough job, and as I told that member just recently, I expect them to be reporting back soon.
Supplementary.
Sue Moroney.
Does she intend to publicly release the work of the task force in the aftermath of next week's budget, so that the task force response to the 330 submissions it received calling for 100% qualified staff that she cut in February gets buried in the bad news of the budget?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Speaker, as I just said in response to the question before last, the task force is doing an extremely thorough job, and they intend, as I understand, they intend to report back soon. And of course we would want all their work to be available to the public.
Sue Moroney.
When was she advised that the Early Childhood Education Task Force had completed its report and placed it on her desk?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Well, Mr Speaker, I haven't seen the final report from the task force. I've been advised that it is due soon.
Question number 8, Doctor. I beg your pardon, sorry. Could I just ask members, please, I've got to be able to hear calls. Rahui Katane.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister. Does she agree with Diana Anderson, National Evaluation Manager for the Education Review Office, that Māori children learn better when their education was put in a Māori context? If so, what initiatives is the Ministry putting in place to ensure widespread adoption of such an approach?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Speaker, yes, I absolutely agree, and there's plenty of evidence to show that that's absolutely correct. I'd say, particularly in early childhood education, what this government has done is called a halt to the previous government's build it and they will come attitude for Māori youngsters, particularly in South Auckland, and is working with communities to make sure that we design services that suit their needs, that are culturally appropriate, that are delivering early childhood services in a way that that community in particular wants to see.
Point of order, Sue Moroney.
Mr Speaker, I seek leave to table a copy of the...
Order. Sue Moroney.
I seek leave to table a copy of the summary report on submissions to the Early Childhood Education Task Force dated the 18th of February 2011, prepared by the Task Force Secretariat.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is objection. Question number 8, Dr. Jackie Blue.
Thank you, Mr